Best ever.
Best in our era. I used to say the best in the 90s.
But you played against Bird too now.
Ooh,
Yes,
come
why
on.
I
Hey,
said.
Hey, talk to me about that.
You played against Bird too now. That was my daddy's favorite player.
I love Larry
Mine-
Bird.
My daddy's favorite player was Larry
man.
Bird.
Larry, so I tell everybody the best player is named Magic Larry Bird Johnson. But he would literally get in, like Isaiah told a story. He was like, he said, "You put this white dude on me?" He goes, "You going to offend me like that?" Like, and we'd be like, "What? Like, what happened?" He was like him, like he's the blackest white dude you want to see. They can get you a taxi, but then they get in the car and speak like you, and the taxi driver's like, "I was snubbed."
You need friends like that.
You need friends
those.
like that.
You need those.
But Larry was, when I watch it, and the difference between Larry and Luka, because somebody tried to tell me that, is Larry played defense. Larry played defense, and Larry was so smart and he never missed. I've never seen him miss. Yeah,
Larry top
I
five all
definitely seen
time.
that miss for sure.
But he
ain't stopped shooting.
No, he ain't stopped.
He ain't gonna stop. He gonna keep
No,
shooting.
he ain't shot.
Listen, every time I think he out of bullets, he pull out another clip.
He said,
I thought he was done.
I'm a shooter. Shoot. Yeah. But I'm going to say Larry Bird was one of my, I thought I was going to be a Celtic. Red Auerbach had been dealing with me since I was a sophomore in college. Len Bias too. Me, Lenny, Mark Brown, we would go up to Boston and be in this basketball camp. It just had us playing against other vets. And because he was like, let me get these guys ready. And he told me he was going to draft me, but he took Lenny, and really smart move, and God bless Lenny. But Larry, I thought I was going to be Larry's teammate. And I walked in, man, and everything was iced at the end of the game. And that's what I mean by veterans. And I was like, man, what's up? He said, you're going to do this, young fella. You got to, after you play, you got to get the inflammation down. And he was explaining it like that. He didn't say, you're a rookie, get out of here, get out of my face. I had to carry bags and get food and get breakfast and coffee and that kind of stuff. But that was only to keep you humble. You know, you can be when you came in, it wasn't like jail hazing. It was like just to keep you humble. Like you have, almost like in a Buddhist temple, you have to sweep or you have to wash, or if you go in, you have to do something that we consider to be menial, but it means so much because it helps the whole environment. So I had to do that kind of stuff. I was Adrian Dantley's rookie for 3 years. Like I wouldn't, I wasn't even a rookie.
What's up, Rook?
I had
This
rookies.
is year 6, eh?
Yeah, I had rookies, and I was like, I got AD.
Mahorn still call him Boo Poo.
Call me Doodle.
Doodle. He still call him Doodle. It's the rookie
Doodle,
name.
give me that. Like he can say right now, right? He was sitting there, hey Doodle, go get me what you call it. And I like, am I getting up for real?
Goddamn, I'm going to get out.
Yeah.
And then the Lakers.
I love it.
You sweep the Lakers,
Yeah.
88, 89. Just talk about that feeling. I don't think nobody expected that.
The feeling was so good on the bus back, fam. We kicked the windows out of the bus back to the hotel.
Damn.
And we mooned everybody. That
So listen, y'all really are the bad boys.
we are.
We talking that bullshit.
You
talking
talking
about
that
y'all not.
bullshit.
You
No,
mooned the
no.
motherfucker.
No,
You earned that.
I don't even know what
Who
that
was the
bus-
first to moon? Dennis.
Rick Mahorn's ass.
Rick was the first ass.
Was the first ass.
Of course.
Because people are riding along the bus and doing all kinds of stuff. And Rick was like, yo.
Man, shout out Rick Mahorn, man. I had an
love
opportunity.
Rick Mahorn.
Obviously, I tell you, I spoke to him every time we played against Detroit, but I also had some time to work with him on NBA TV.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Zeke as well,
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas on NBA TV. Love the time that I have with them.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I'm on set with them, they got some game for me.
Yeah.
Like some OG shit, like some real shit that you can't pay for.
Good
Like,
vets,
you know what I'm
man.
saying? Great advice that only some that been through it and the walk that you walking can give you.
Yeah. And when Rick so we win the championship, and we have the parade in 1989, and on the way back to the Palace, the bus stops, and Jack McCluskey has to get on that big-ass phone, and he puts the phone down, and he's like this, and he's like, all right, let's go. And something's on his mind. We don't know, and we get all the way back, and we on stage, and Rick is like from the baddest of the bad boys, la 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 la, and then after that, they tell us Rick was in the expansion draft and no longer was going to be a Piston. Man, I cried like a baby.
Man, goddamn, man.
Come on, man.
They couldn't mess up the party, right?
No.
They couldn't mess up the how it
Gotta
had
wait
gone.
till y'all got going.
Had to wait till they had when we first got back to the palace. We don't have cell phones, so where people are calling you and checking. They had everything in the locker room for us to sign as bad boys. They said every piece. Then when they took all of that, then we got out on stage. And Rick was one of the last to speak or whatever when we came back and they told us that.
Was it expansion draft the day after the
day of
championship?
the day of our parade.
And so every team had to put, what, 2 or 3 players in or something?
Yeah. And he thought, well, Rick has a bad back or whatever. They're not going to take him. Man, Minnesota said, we'll take the brother with the big ass over here. And then Rick said, I'm going to Italy. And then next, he worked it out where he was with Philly. So now Charles Barkley and Rick on the same squad. Shout out to Charles Barkley. These guys see him on TNT. They have no idea he's a menace.
Yeah.
He was a menace.
He's never about 6'4".
6'4", play about 7'1".
Yeah.
He does. It's unbelievable.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
he was a tough.
He was tough.
So they talk about that Olympics, and when I watched that, and I wasn't there obviously, but they say he was the second best player on that team behind Mike.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Dream team.
They say he was the second best player on that dream team behind Mike.
Yeah.
This is what the word is.
He was. He was unbelievable.
So you guys go bad boys, Jordan rules, win championships, and then you go play with the Bulls.
Yeah.
How was that?
Like, I had to imagine the
Did you want to? When you walked in, did you want to slap Mike just for?
No,
I still on. Pow.
So
He said, I'm a prostitute.
Like, yeah, you know what? They put the clothes on you, they dress you up, and
They take them off.
This is the deal. I wanted to be in the NBA. I didn't ever have a team. I wanted to be a Celtic because I grew up a Celtic fan. But then, I wanted to be in the NBA.
Hold on. From Brooklyn, a Celtics fan.
Because everybody was a Knicks fan, and they did nothing but lose.
And then went to Georgia Tech.
And
There wasn't no NIL and none of that. You just picked Georgia Tech.
Nobody in my family were going to drive to Georgia. They'll drive to South Carolina. They won't do the extra 2
Boy, I love that. That's when they ask me why I live in Southwest Ranches, because ain't nobody going to come out there and with me.
No.
I love it.
No.
I love it. Great idea, OG.
They did not see how I was living until my last game at Georgia Tech. And true statement. My family came. It was great. 3 cousins stayed. They came to Atlanta and was like, I'm
signing up for
Johnny. And that was it. They was there.
There's some new shit, Johnny.
Crazy.
So Jerry Krause, God rest his soul, had me come in 3 times to visit the Bulls. So they're number 9 pick. So they had me come in. It was weird too. Doug Collins was the coach.
What year are you in this at this time?
19.
Your career? where at?
Oh, you mean when? I'm
he
talking
said he
about
came
right
in
as
this-
I was
okay.
coming.
He
coming out
came in
okay,
visiting
okay,
after the
okay,
draft.
okay.
And they took Brad Sellers. So in my brain, I'm going to destroy
Brad
whoever
Sellers.
I play against as a Celtic. I'm going to destroy whoever's at me as a Bull. So I'm playing for different reasons because
Motivation's now.
I have a chip on my shoulder. I have
Chip will make you a monster.
Yeah, it sure
man,
will.
my shoulder's so big now because I was holding so many chips.
I feel you, OG.
And then when it came down to it, Jerry called me. I was leaving Toronto, a bad situation. I love Toronto, but the team was a bad situation for me. And he said, we're thinking about bringing you on a 10-day. I was like, oh, you might as well give me a whole contract. And he was like, what do you mean? I said, bro, I'm going to make it past the 10 days.
Yeah, if you give me 10 days, you might as well write the contract.
You might as well write the contract. And he was like, what do you mean? I said,
I know who the fuck I am.
I
That's
know
what I mean.
MJ is going to say put me on.
Yeah.
I know Scotty is going to have me on. And then Phil Jackson. So when I got there, I said, I know the offense. And he was like, what do you think you know? And we had tapes. I bought them VHS tapes of us and how we're going to defend the triangle. So by the fact that I watched it so much, once they told me all the rest, and then I sat with Tex Winners all the time. Tex autographed the book to me because I like the offense so much. And I always said, if anybody were to put that offense in right now, they would win a championship. And they would
Really?
like, how do you say
Think
it?
the triangle,
Phil Jackson
think
has
the triangle,
11
the
of them.
triangle will still work.
You're right.
Yeah. Because there was a version of it with the Warriors.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah.
So triangle offense, and he kind of said this earlier. Like coaching is personnel driven as well. So any personnel can play a triangle.
Yeah. And you don't have to be. So this is defense to us. You with the ball, me and the basket.
Yep.
If you score,
Yep.
with me being in this position, I still play good defense. I still was in. It's when you get behind me is the problem. And when you throw the ball into the post, everybody has something to do. So no matter if you're fast or slow, you know what you need to do, and it's space and shooting the ball from these spots.
He said, Phil got 11 of them.
Yeah, he got
You think it
11.
worked? You think it worked?
Yeah, he got
11
he got
of them.
what 6 into Chicago,
They got a lot of them
five
things.
in,
a lot of them
with the Lakers.
He said the triangle worked. Phil got 11 of them.
He got 11 and did not change the offense. And they said, well, we had Michael Jordan. The year he didn't have Michael Jordan, they should have won.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
So
this is true.
for the year and a half.
So when you got there,
Yeah.
you and Mike had to go out to lunch, clean some shit up. Because I remember when me and Jermaine O'Neal, we used to bump heads all the time. And then we traded for J.O. And Rouse called me in the office, and we called J.O. in the office and said, all right, y'all
Ain't be
clean
no
this
these shenanigans.
right now, y'all clean this shit up. Whatever the it is y'all got going on, clean it up.
No, because
And he walked out and left me and J.O. at the fucking office. Yeah, he left us in the fucking office. And we sat there for about 2-3 minutes. Ain't none of us want to say to
That's
each
some
other.
real rile too, by the way.
And after a while, we was like, all right, we gonna play together. We gotta talk this shit. That was just competitive alpha shit. We ain't had nothing personal against each other, but you just know, just keep bumping heads every time. You and MJ, Rod, any of y'all had to clean some shit up?
nah, so we frat brothers, Omega Psi Phi Incorporated.
Okay,
And,
okay.
QSI. And Rue. And the deal
Not killer,
was
you can't do that.
he
You
can
see,
do
I ain't
one.
do it.
I can do one.
Yeah, you can do one. You see, I ain't do it.
He
They don't
said
play that
Rue.
shit by fraternities.
I said I'm on one room.
He ain't got one rule, he got 2 rules. But I was always MJ's man anyway. So, you know, I'm like you. Before the game, you know, I'm like this. And then during the game, I'm trying to kill you. And after the game, I want to, hey, where we going? And he was like, we're not going anywhere. You work with him. So it never was, to me, one of my favorite guys I played against, we never talk about it, Stacey Ogman. You remember Stacey?
Yeah,
Ogman?
yeah. UNLV, Stacey
UNLV,
Ogman,
baby.
Plastic Man.
He
Plastic
used to,
man.
I would
He was tough.
give him a
too now.
cheap shot, he would look at me. Next you know, I'm like this, boom, he get me back. And I was like, where'd your skinny black hair? And he was like, I know how you play. I'm going to play the same way with you. I try to get him to come on a podcast. He said, I don't talk. But that's the mentality is when I'm playing, you know I'm doing what's legal. I'm not really cheap shotting you. If you're going to the basket, I'm going to try to block your shot. If you're going really strong, I'm going to try to elbow you in the rib and block your shot.
Yeah.
So MJ, he didn't come at me any kind of way. Scotty knew I was. The funniest thing is Ron Harper literally was the one who took me out and tried to explain to me how they was in Chicago. And, you know, I was like, shut the what are you talking about? Go study somewhere else. Anyway.
Oh, damn.
I
didn't know we was gonna
my
go.
cousin Mike is going to be like, oh, you went too deep. Too far?
No,
Little bit too far?
I got a
Oh,
cousin
no
that's Smiley that stutter. We pick on him all the time. We know we love you, Smiley. Just know we love you to death.
Can I change the subject? Is that cool?
Of course.
All right. So going through it now, you play with the Rodmans, Isaiah Thomas, Pip, MJ, Kobe,
Let's say Joe Dumars too.
Joe Dumars.
He don't get his flowers.
But even if we're gonna put them on levels, right? So you got, in my opinion, what I want to hear about is like the different Isaiah, Jordan, Kobe, like what difference in mentalities? Because years go by, right? Like those guys are obviously right there at the top. What was the difference in those guys?
The mentalities change with the eras.
You think?
I'm asking you. Do you think the mentalities change with the eras?
No. Isaiah wanted you dead. Michael wanted you dead. Kobe wanted you dead.
Period.
And then want to resurrect you and kill you again. So
That's what they had in common.
that was it. Like you're not taking me. It was funny because when Phil would take MJ out of the game, I would watch, and MJ would sit. Okay, he would sit there, and I was like, "What? It just happened." Like he has 46. Pull him out the game. The real difference, guys take days off now. I remember Michael was talking smack about Horace, and he was like, "Man, he only plays 65 games a year. Of course he's gonna be fresh." He was always on him that way, but there's no way you were gonna get Kobe not to play a game, Michael not to play a game, or Isaiah. They're not giving up these minutes. So when I see guys talk about load, I don't understand. Because when I first got in the game, in the league, we flew commercial. Oof. Can you imagine?
That's nasty work.
Flying commercial and having to play, and a back-to-back where you got to get up at 5, the flight's at 7. They had to arrange their holes different.
That's a full-time job.
A full-time job.
Arranging hose is a full-time job. Especially when you're flying commercial.
Did you make the flight?
This is true. This is true. This is true.
So
you got to arrange your hose different.
No, hey.
Quote of the day.
Hey, man.
it was just so, they loved the game so much that they were not going to take a night off. Isaiah took a night off because he literally, Karl Malone cut his eye. MJ, I have never, and you can check, MJ didn't have any, I don't remember him ever having days off where he was there. He was the show. Kobe either. When Kobe had to tear something for him not to play in a game. So when I see
still wouldn't shot the free throw with no Achilles.
Man.
yeah,
Tough.
you had to tear it. Being hurt is the difference.
So
You can't play injured.
Hebe Bryant says the same shit all the time.
Yeah.
Hurt and injured is a big difference, brother.
You can play hurt. You
Yep.
can't play injured.
Can't play injured. He always say, "Listen, I'm never going to judge you. Either hurt or injured, but don't come crying to me."
Yeah.
Elevate your essentials this season with effortlessly cool, natural breathable underwear that stops sweat fast. Tommy John is all about inspiration, not perspiration. Inspiration can come from anywhere, especially when you're feeling confident. With Tommy John, your boy is always comfortable, always confident, and always inspired to be the best. You know, when I'm in the arena watching my team play, I gotta be cool, I gotta be comfortable, I gotta be confident. It's already an uptight, emotional situation. Gotta let my balls breathe just a little bit. That's where my Tommy John come in. And you can hoop in them too. They just that comfortable, fellas. Fellas, avoid a little loose ball foul with this little contour pouch right here. It keeps everything in position. We all know how important it is to make sure we in the right spot. And it helps with your print. In the summer with gray sweats. You want that print? Get that contour pouch. Get 25% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/OGs. Save 25% at TommyJohns.com/OGs.
Hoop fans, with just a few games left of the regular season, now is the time to lock in your picks. Like, who do you think is going to take home the trophy in the end? Make your picks with my partners at DraftKings. Right now, they are offering all new customers $150 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. Download the DraftKings app now and sign up using code OGs. The crown is yours. Stay in on the action and use your $150 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen, making watching the games that much more exciting. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Pick 6 and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code OGs and bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code OGs only at DraftKings Sportsbook.